Please, people, I've managed to figure it out. So sorry to have kept you waiting. Okay, let's go to our favorite part. Hey, which is my favorite part as well. I love to enjoy the dance. Thank you to everyone that has been saying well done to us. Thank you so much. God bless you. To those of us that just joined us on this show tonight, thank you so much for coming on. It's a special episode. It's the season 17 finale, which means by the grace of God, we've been able to, today will be the 170th episode of this show. And I'm super excited. Okay, I'll bring the music on. Somebody said looking beautiful. Oh, thank you. Somebody said the sky is blue. Yes, so the sky is blue. Somebody said it's your gele for me. Oh, thank you so much, everyone. People don't comment, so see me. Oh, ha. You're making me feel like a G now. Hey, okay. Let's dance first. Oh, yeah. Let me know if you can hear my music. Oh. Yeah. If I'm not careful, I'll just keep going, but time is not always on our side. That was from the amazing anointed Shola Alinsin. Orin yẹn sọ pé ìfẹ́ wa dálẹ̀, ìfẹ́ wa dálẹ̀ ooo. Ìfẹ́ wa dálẹ̀, ìfẹ́ wa dálẹ̀. Ire Ladies and gentlemen, what have we come here to talk about tonight? I want to appreciate those that are commenting us, those that are putting emojis, dance emojis. Honestly, when I see you guys, there's something that comes like Gara, Ibera, Gade, and when you were online. You know what I'm saying? I'm always super excited when I see people, especially people that engage. There are some people that tell me, we watch your show, but I've never heard any comment from them. I don't think that is what will really encourage me. Please, if you're online, even if it's an emoji, if it is something to just say well done or something, let me know you're there. If you're there, thank God that this nowadays we've gone beyond the days of us or busy. Nowadays, we can actually communicate while we're online. So please, if you're on this show tonight, whether you're a first timer or you've been here before, please take time to comment. That's what is going to encourage me. Now, not to waste too much of our time, tonight, what have we come to talk about? We've come to talk about something very, very important. And that, for the past 2 weeks, we've been talking about a few things. We talk about whether it is okay for parents to hassle children to get married or kind of push and say, what are you doing? What are you waiting for? We've been talking about all this process ever since about 2-3 weeks ago, and it's almost like this is becoming like a series. Now, what we're talking about tonight is the term matchmaking. Matchmaking, the pros and the cons. Now, what is matchmaking? I want us to take it from there. I always say to us every week in, week out, that I don't come here to come and say, oh, I've got the knowledge of what it is to be when it comes to the issue of marriage. Nobody's perfect. Now, let's talk about matchmaking. What do we call matchmaking? What's matchmaking? Can somebody help me out? Because I always love to kind of establish some facts before we move into the deep ocean of this show, especially when we have a topic like this. I wanted to be sure that we all have a good understanding of what the topic is all about. So tonight, God bless you, ma. Those of you that are just joining, please, we really appreciate you. Please forgive me if I don't mention your name. It's because of time and I don't want to leave anybody out. Now, guys, can somebody please help me? What's matchmaking? Or do we even have a Yoruba name for matchmaking? Or something like that, because I was trying to figure out what do Yoruba people call it, matchmaking. Let's talk about it. Or should I say, even if you're Igbo or anything, what is matchmaking? How do they say it in your own language? Let's talk about matchmaking. What's matchmaking? Can somebody talk to me about that? What does it mean when I say, oh, this is matchmaking or whatever? Let's talk about it, please, ladies and gentlemen. I always say to us on this show, one of the most unique thing about this show is the fact that it is an interactive show. It's an interactive show where you talk to me and I talk to you. That's how I will know that actually people are engaged on this show. When it's quiet, I'm like, oh, I think I'm on my own. So guys, let's talk about matchmaking. What is matchmaking? I don't want to be the only one talking. I don't want to be the only one saying things. Before I even talk about what I know about matchmaking. Thank you so much, Maya Baba. Thank you for always being here. This woman has been here from day one. Out of 170 episodes that we have done on this show, I don't think Yahoo Baba have missed maybe once or twice. And it has to be something really, really serious that makes her miss it. So thank you so much, ma. And then whenever she's online, I know she's on. When she's not online, I feel it. Thank you, ma. She says, introducing two people of like minds to each other for the purpose of marriage. Maybe I should finish that. Matchmaking, introducing two people to each other, two people of like minds to each other for the purpose of marriage, with the intention of getting married. If I may say, should I say? She said, will I say, bringing two people of marriageable age together, with the intention of them eventually getting married. Thank you so much, ma. Please, people, if you still have any definition for what matchmaking is all about, let's talk about it. Now, people have been talking about what matchmaking is. Matchmaking, when you say, I have a man that I think the man is very responsible. I like this man, and I have another young woman of marriageable age, and I think, bringing them together, they will make good couple. And I introduce them to each other for the purpose of eventually getting married. We all know what matchmaking is all about. We just wanted to emphasize on it. So please, people, there are some people on this show that can see them, but I haven't heard anything from them. Please talk. Somebody said an opportunity to start a conversation that may lead to a meaningful marital relationship. That's talking from someone who has experience in this area. Thank you, ma'am. Dewey's creation. I really appreciate you, ma. Thank you for that contribution. So, my people, having heard from people, we know that matchmaking is actually definitely bringing one person to the other, for the purpose of eventually having a meaningful marital relationship. Now, let's talk about who can match make. Who is that person that is qualified to match make? Thank you, ma. Auntie Eniola. Like she said, good evening, my beautiful hello to the entire house. Please, people, let me remind us that on this show, you can call me to air your opinion. Maybe your marriage is a product of matchmaking and you want to share your experience. Maybe your marriage, you've seen someone or you have been able to match make, you want to share your experience. Because the reason why we do this show is to shed light on things and also liberate people. And you can also call me on, please, if you want to call me or send a voice note, it's on WhatsApp. Because if you send on Instagram, somebody sent me a message on Instagram yet last week. So that's why I couldn't get it. Because Instagram is live, I can't reach that message. So please, if you want to message me on WhatsApp on +44 7828 500 938. Yahoo Baba, let me put it there so that I can pin it. +44 7828 500 938. You can leave me a voice note because I know that people are busy and they may not be able to call live, or where they are, they can't really talk, but you can leave a voice note. Also, you can leave your comments on this show. My Facebook people, I can't hear anything from you guys. If you're there, I don't know you're there because I can't hear nothing. That's one thing about Facebook. If you're there, you're not saying anything, I won't know that there are people there. So please, if you're on Facebook or on YouTube, please say something. I appreciate my people on Instagram for your contribution. God bless you. Thank you for your support all the time. Now, let's talk about who can matchmake. Who can matchmake? Somebody said there's no qualification of being a matchmaker. Once you're familiar with the two parties. Thank you so much, ma'am. Once you're familiar with the two parties. Oh dear, we missed that call. Please call back. Somebody was trying to call. Please call back. Now, talking about who is a matchmaker. Who is qualified to be a matchmaker? Who should matchmake? Who are the people that should be allowed to matchmake? Now, somebody has said there is no qualification to being a matchmaker. Once you are familiar with the two parties, you're free to matchmake. Now, let's talk about who is the first matchmaker ever. Do we know? Parokoko she matchmaking. Maybe in the whole world, who was the first matchmaker? Can somebody tell me? And who are the first couple to be matchmade? Let's talk about it because this stuff is very interesting. The person that was trying to call me, I think I missed that call. Please call me back on +44 7828 500 938. Somebody just responded to that comment, to that question. Somebody said the first matchmaker is God. How many of us agree to that? The very first matchmaker was actually God, and the first couple to be matchmade were Adam and Eve. Thank you so much, ma. Let's pick this call up. Hello. Hello. Hello, good evening. Welcome on the show. Your name and where you're calling from?
Victor, I'm calling from United Kingdom. Dewey's creation.
Yay!
An interesting topic, so you know that you will definitely hear my voice. Yeah?
God bless you,
man. What I can say is matchmaking is good for a reason, and I will say at the same time there has to be caution. Nítorí pé tí èèyàn bá tí ọkùnrin àti obìnrin bá máa ríra wọn, àwọn kan wà tó jẹ́ pé wọn ò ní opportunity láti ríra, tó jẹ́ pé ẹni tó bá mọ̀ wọ́n náà ló lè arrange bọ́n ṣe lè sọ̀rọ̀. And the thing is, ẹlòmíì, probably because they are so busy with their work, some of our sisters, apart from me, more Nigeria, but in UK, apart from church, mosque, or office, they don't do any other thing. They don't go to parties, they don't go to anywhere. But these are our cousins, our sisters, our nieces that we have known. One ní ọmọ dáadáa ni wọ́n. Bóyá brother náà dẹ̀ rèé, uncle ti àbí auntie tiẹ̀ náà, wọ́n ti mọ̀ pé èèyàn dáadáa ni. Wọ́n á dẹ̀ sí pé, but you guys can start a conversation. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni dẹ̀ ṣe máa sọ, start conversation. So bá máa lead the same, but tí o bá dẹ̀ ní lead. But my word of caution ni pé anybody tẹ́ bá máa make sure pé ẹ mọ àwọn méjèèjì lè mọ̀yàn tán but ẹ mọ̀yàn dáadáa but from that conversation tó bá máa yíìdì sí nǹkan á yíìdì sí tí ó bá dẹ̀ ní yíìdì sí that's fine. Oníkálukú àmọ́ bá tiẹ̀ lọ but something has to start from somewhere. Torí ẹlòmíì ò ní courage láti sọ pé mo fẹ́ bóbìnrin sọ̀rọ̀. Wọ́n lè jọ rẹ̀ bọ̀ wọ́n lè gbé ìgbésẹ̀ yẹn. So ó máa ń da pé matchmaking yẹn òun ni a lè fi lò. Wọ́n lè ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ conversation wọ́n á dẹ̀ mọ̀ wá. Are you free tomorrow? I'm free on Saturday. Let's just go and talk.
Thank you,
so,
ma.
ẹ jẹ́ ká sì lù sí bẹ́ẹ̀ for now.
Thank you so much, ma. We really appreciate you. That's coming from the CEO of Divis Creation, Sister Vicky Olawoye. We appreciate your call, ma. We appreciate you. God bless you, ma. Bye, ma. Bye for now. My people, ladies and gentlemen, now talking from from what the call I just received now. I can see people still responding to my question. Who is the first matchmaker, and who are the first couple to be matchmade? Now, don't let me be distracted from what this auntie has just said. He said starting a conversation, because it's going to lead me to my next question as well. We've talked about who should matchmake, and people have responded. There's no qualification. Anybody that can matchmake, anybody can be a matchmaker, in the sense that you see this person, you know that this person is good, the other person is also good. These people, if they come together, they can actually come together to become a very good couple. Thank you, ma. Alaja Sumbo. She's loving the bling. I love my bling bling. So people, a matchmaker does not necessarily have to have a particular qualification, even though there are professional matchmakers nowadays who are really good and they are actually trained in that line, but anybody could be a matchmaker. Now, coming back to the question of who, because sometimes even in religion body, at one point people have this impression that matchmaking is not godly. We've been deceived in the past that if God is leading you to this person, you shouldn't be through anybody. But the first matchmaker is God himself. Abi, am I lying? People have said it here on this show. The first, because it was not Adam that saw Eve and said that I want to toast this woman. The Bible makes us to understand, and I know it's in the Quran as well, that Adam was made to fall asleep, and by the time he woke up, he found a woman that God has already prepared for him. He didn't even have the chance to toast or to check or to find out whether she's good or not. So obviously God is the first matchmaker. So that's actually rule out the fact whether it is a good thing or not, whether it should be done or should not be done. That has actually ruled that fact out. So in other words, what we are trying to say here is that matchmaking, there's nothing wrong with it, because my next question was going to be, what is wrong with matchmaking? Is there anything wrong in it? Is it sinful? Is it a sin? Is it against the will of God? And from people's response, if God is the first matchmaker, then I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Please, if anybody have any contrary opinion, as I always say to us, I come here every week to come and learn. If you have a contrary opinion as to whether it is right or wrong, whether culturally or even spiritually or religious wise, if you think it is wrong to matchmake, please comment and tell us the reason. Sometimes people say things on this show that I would never have thought about, and when they say that, I was like, that's true. So if you think that matchmaking shouldn't be done, it is wrong, and these are the reasons why it is wrong, please let us know. Now let's go to what is next. Please, people, or if you leave me a voice note and say, oh, hello to I want to contribute to what you're saying, or if you leave a comment on the show. I know sometimes people get really engrossed in the conversation that they forget to call or they forget to leave a message, but it would be nice if you can please leave me a message or give me a call. Now we're talking about the pros and the cons. Let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages of matchmaking. Is there anything wrong? Could anything go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? Or should we go from the positive first? What are the advantages? What are the pros of matchmaking? What are those things that are in being matchmade that we look at as an advantage what could go well, or the advantages or the easy things that happen when a couple is being match made, please, 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 please leave a comment for me. Call me on +447828500938, or leave me a voice message on +447828500938. Now let's talk about what are those good things that can come out of matchmaking. Please, if you're on this show, your marriage is a product of matchmaking, and you have experiences to share, whether positive or otherwise, please feel free to leave us a comment. Sometimes it's good to hear from the horse's mouth. Sometimes when people are talking about things, it's good to hear from people that have experienced it first class, that have experienced it firsthand. That is not talking about what happened to somebody or what happened. If it is your direct testimony, it will help us to actually. Okay, now everybody's gone quiet. Let's talk, people. What are the advantages and the disadvantages of matchmaking? What could possibly go right and what could possibly go wrong? Ladies and gentlemen, bring it on. Let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation, because we never know who is out there who is a little bit jittery and be like, matchmaking. Hey, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. No, and we don't know who we're going to set free or we're going to liberate by sharing these experiences. Guys, please, let's talk about it. What are the pros and cons? What are the things that we can say the positive about being matchmade, or negative? What can possibly go right and what can possibly go wrong in terms of matchmaking? Oh yeah, I'm listening and I'm waiting for responses so that we can take it. I know that most of the time people now start talking towards the end of the show. People start talking towards the end of the show when we're about to round up, and people now start coming up with so many ideas and contributions. That thing can be painful, child, because we have the time now to talk about the pros and cons of matchmaking. And I'm sure there will be someone somewhere that is listening to this, or that will eventually listen to this, that will, we will learn something. So people, let's talk about, I don't want to be the only one talking on this show. Let's talk about the pros and cons. And when I say pros and cons, what are the advantages and the disadvantages of matchmaking? What could possibly go right? What could possibly go wrong in matchmaking? That's what I mean. So let's talk about it. Let's take it one after the other. Okay, I'm waiting. I am waiting before I move on to the next one. Can people hear me? Why is it gone quiet? Okay, I'll probably start, because many people are busy. I can see people are online, but these days everybody is busy. They're doing one thing on the side. I would say one of the advantages that I know in matchmaking is the fact that most of the time, the people that are initiating this relationship, they know both parties most of the time, and I don't think I will have the guts or the courage to kind of want to bring two couples together that I know that they're not going to be good to each other. So most of the time, I probably have understanding of A and understanding of B, and I know who they are for me to actually initiate that relationship in the first place. So I think one of the pros of this is the fact that at least someone somewhere know both parties. Someone that you can find out from, someone that you can ask questions from and be like, this person that you're asking me to marry, are you sure? Who is she or who is he? What do you, I mean, there's always someone to fall back to. That's what I'm trying to say. Please correct me if I'm wrong. There's always one person to go back to. For instance, the person that connected me to my husband, I can always go back to them and say, this person, who is he? What does he? Da, 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 da. And they're going to tell me who they are, whether positive or negative. Thing that I need to find out about this person. It's always easier when there is someone somewhere to call upon and then ask questions from. Okay, if it's quiet, I'll play music. I'm not going to be the only one talking. If it is quiet, I will play music. Because everybody's gone quiet. I won't be the only one talking, people. I'm going to bring on the music. Yes, Mama Yodele, I know she's probably distracted because she's always very quick to leave comments. She's probably busy where she is. And I really want anybody that has an experience in the area of being matchmade to please call us in or tell us experience or tell us something that you have witnessed or experienced in this business of matchmaking. Now, somebody has said earlier that we do not have anybody that is qualified or disqualified from anybody can be a matchmaker, but there are some people that are professional matchmakers. That's what they do. They are all over the place. I can actually recommend one, which is My Marriage Must Work. At least I've seen so many people that they have brought together and they are doing really, really well in their marriage. So I would recommend them as well if there's anybody that you know. Now, people, let's just dance because I'm beginning to get a bit coming. Sorry. Please bear with me. Trying to bring up the music. I'm enjoying everything that's that care. I know people are driving, people are doing stuff. I know, but I'll play music. I know. Okay. Oh, somebody is calling. Let's take this call. Let's take this call again. I know people are busy. Hello, ma.
Okay, this is Dewey's questions again. No?
God bless you, ma.
I've got a couple of experience. Let me just use that one. And some of the people that we have, by the grace of God, been able to introduce to each other. So one I can say is I remember a sister when the idea came up. She was a bit reluctant because she was in Nigeria. So people were kind of trying to discourage her. Don't try it to. I want somebody to Nigeria. I want my salary. But I want you one more. The other person suffering. No, eléyìí ẹni tí wà lélẹ́yìí ẹ̀jẹ̀ wa ni àmọ́ àlè sọ báyìí nípa ẹ̀. And it was a bit tough for her to make such decision. But no, bóyá ó lọ gbàdúrà ni àbó lọ sí council ni. Ìgbà tó dẹ̀ wà convinced pé okay, I think let me give it a trial. Torí nǹkan tá à ń sọ ni pé àwọn tó wà ń bí ẹlòmíì wà wọ́n jọ wà together. Wọ́n ríra wọn lójú, wọ́n jọ ń gbé UK. Wọ́n ríra wọn, wọ́n kọ́ sí 4 years, wọ́n dàrú. Ẹlòmíì dẹ̀ wá, ó wá láti Ghana àti ó wá láti kinní kan. Wọ́n dẹ̀ they are still together 20 years. So a lè yẹ wé, you understand? Irú kéèsì tèmi, ọkọ mi wá sí Nàìjíríà. Ìgbà ìwọ̀n rò pé bóyá ó relocate maybe to just look for some to just relocate and maybe do something at home. Ìgbà yẹn la pàdé, èmi ò dẹ̀ mọ̀ nǹkan kan. Mo kàn lọ sí meeting kan, àǹtí ẹ̀ ló invite ẹ̀ sí meeting yẹn. Àǹtí tèmi náà dẹ̀ invite mi sí meeting. A dẹ̀ ń sọ̀rọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n marry until around 2 years. Ó take time ẹ̀, ó ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀, ṣẹ́mọ̀. So, téèyàn bá fẹ́ mú èèyàn méjì pọ̀ together, ẹ má jẹ́ ká máa wà too much in hurry. Ẹ fún wọn ní time. Ó lè jẹ́ pé wọ́n ti dàgbà, it doesn't really matter. Wọ́n ṣàtúndúró before that time. But findings were, and nowadays because of technology, you can get information from anywhere. After Google back, after Batu lọ sẹ́wọ̀n, after bí tó ti gbé gbogbo èlò wà online. After ẹni tó ti fẹ́, ìfá èèyàn kan ti ẹ̀wà, mo ti ẹ̀wà mọ̀ pé ẹni ọkọ ti lọ fẹ́ èèyàn kan ní another country. Orí internet dẹ̀ mo ti rí. So information tẹ́ bá máa find out, ẹ lè find out. Kẹ̀dẹ̀ sọ fáwọn yẹn pé can go ahead. So I don't see anything wrong in because it has to start from somewhere. Wọ́n ò lè gbé gbèsè ẹlòmíì ó ti ní mind yẹn about pé mi ò lè fẹ́ Igbo ni mí, mi ò lè fẹ́ Yorùbá ni mí, gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n mi tó fẹ́ ọmọ Oǹdó, gbogbo wọn ni wọ́n ti kúrò ní ọkọ. And ìjọsìn wọn orí oníkálùkù yàtọ̀ síra bọ́ ẹ jẹ́ kí wọ́n ríra wọn, wọ́n bára wọn sọ̀rọ̀. Tó bá dẹ̀ ríra wọn sójú ẹ jẹ́ kó máa communicate. internet ti wà wá sọ̀rọ̀ lórí Facebook ẹlòmíì àwọn kan wà orí Facebook wọn pẹ̀lú bó ṣe ní Facebook ó burú tó ó ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ àti láwọn tó pàdé ara wọn just near ẹlò lórí Facebook 7-10 years 15 years wọ́n ti wà ní marriage time and they are happy. So ẹ jẹ́ kí ọkàn wa ẹ jẹ́ kí opportunity yẹn kó wà bó ṣe máa bí èèyàn ṣe máa pàdé ẹ jẹ́ ká fún àwọn èèyàn ní opportunity yẹn otherwise because tá a bá wo list àwọn tó sì ń dúró fún marriage 30, 40, 50, 60 gbogbo opportunities yìí ló dẹ̀ ti kọjá wọn. Ọlọ́run á ràn wá lọ́wọ́.
Amen. Thank you, ma. Thank you so much, ma. God bless you. I really appreciate you. God bless you, ma. I mean, those are very meaningful and powerful contributions. I think she's mentioned a few things. Can distance be an issue when it comes to matchmaking? She did mention the issue of distance. Somebody that is in the UK and someone that is in Nigeria, people can be sometimes wary about, am I sure this person is not going to get here and start messing about and all of that. I'm a product, my marriage is a product of matchmaking. I was in Nigeria, my husband was here, and we've been married for over 20 years to the glory of God. Of course, every marriage has its own ups and downs, but even when you meet someone face to face, even if it's someone that you have known from childhood, it doesn't necessarily guarantee that the marriage will be successful. We just need to pray. So she'll just clear that fact that distance is not going to be a problem when it comes to matchmaking. It's just God. And she mentioned even the social media platform. There are people that are met on social media platform and they are doing very well. And there are people that are met face to face and we just need to pray for God's direction. Then it says we should invite people how to matchmake. The best way that to matchmake is, if possible, allow people to have a common platform to meet. Maybe invite them, like she said, her aunt invited her and his own aunt also invited him. So they had a common platform to meet. And she also said something about giving them time. Sometimes matchmakers can be a little bit too much in a hurry. Give these people time. They've been waiting for so long. Allow them to wait until they are sure. Don't push them. Don't pester them, so to speak. Sometimes when people pester them, they can get into the wrong hand. Let me read what Yahoo Baba said here. She said the disadvantage of matchmaking that I have heard of is a third party being too involved in the relationship after marriage just because she brought them together. That I can testify to. It's true. Sometimes there's a saying in my place that when you give the ram to the god, you have to let go of the rope. Sometimes people still hold on. That happens a lot. And there's this sense of, shebi it was me that brought you guys together. If not for me, shebi people will have met me. Trust me, if God has ordained them to meet, they will meet somehow. So people that matchmake, you are the one that called the thief to come and rob. You are also the one that called the owner of the thing to come and catch. Like my people will say, you are the one that brought them together. Your attitude will still be the one to separate them. So people that are into matchmaking, please do not relate with the couple as if they owe you for the rest of their life. I can testify to that. That can really, 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 really be upsetting. So please, ladies and gentlemen, let's learn to not please, so you have to send the voicemail. Somebody just leave a voice note on this one. Please leave a voice note on my number that ends with 938. Please forward it. I just noticed a voicemail came in here. Please, the one that ends with 938 is the one to send the voicemail to, because I'm using this particular one to do a live show and I won't be able to hear the voicemail. I just noticed a voicemail came into this other phone. Please leave it on the one that ends with 938 +44 7828 500 So if God has used you to bring a couple together, don't let the devil use it to scatter them. That I know people do that a lot, and it's very, very it's not nice at all. Somebody said Larry no they drop rope. Yeah, please drop the rope. Once you have offered them, once they have known each other. Even there's a Yoruba adage that says I'm the one that brought you together. If not for me, you would not have met each other. Especially when it is working. When it's working and they are seeing that they are doing well, introduce, they begin to get jealous, they begin to get too involved. I mean, I believe that one thing that you should be grateful to God for is the fact that you brought them together and they are doing well. So people need to be that. In fact, that's one of the most most terrible disadvantages. Now, you are the one that brought them together, and you're still the one that will end up scattering them. Please don't let us do that. It is one of the most ridiculous things that I've seen that happen to couples that are matchmade. And also, couples, once they matchmake you, don't keep going back to that person to go and relate to everything that's happening between you. That is when you allow them to penetrate into your marriage. And the Lord will help us in Jesus. Thank you. Let me listen to this voicemail that was sent. Yeah.
Hello, Lotsu. Very good evening to you and everybody watching the program. I just want to do a little bit of contribution regarding matchmaking. I'll talk about the disadvantage. Pushing that, so the disadvantage is quite on the outside as well. Most of the times when you introduce two people together, number one, if they met each other without you matchmaking them, if there's any problem, one work it out, one tolerate each other. But tó bá jẹ́ ilẹ̀ matchmaking wọn ni màmá gbọ́ ara ilé ẹ̀ ó ṣe báyìí ẹnu ara ilé ẹ̀ ó rùn all the way that they can manage, they keep telling you man fight for phone in particular. I've matchmade a couple of my friends with other men that I know. Some one or two worked, most of it didn't work. Because to the stage pé I've had this friend, ọ̀rẹ́ mi ọkùnrin ni, bí àbúrò jẹ́ sọ́kọ mi, we've known for almost 20 years. I matchmade him, or I matchmake him with another lady. Tí mo feel pé God very beautiful, this and that, all really nice kò sí wa. But ń gbà tán mọ́ra tán, because èmi àti this very gentleman we were so close, but like family. This lady separated us because she started getting jealous every morning. And the guy told me, jealous. Only each time and gradually, the friendship started diminishing because of this lady to matchmake that I believe she was so close to me. A lot of times, people are different when they have personal relationship with you or others. But when it comes to their relationship, they are entirely different. In the human's body, you won't know what to do to your partners. They have to be a relationship or shaking last. When it comes to intimacy, they are completely different. This particular lady always separates a family name at any time introduces Titi Diola. Friendship party for almost 20 years. We no longer talk. That is one of the very, very bad disadvantage. And then the motion so I don't wait to Mampo. Then I'll make you back by the Aramo. See, we have a way of flowing me, a pico, romantic enough. Oh, Mamma, pushing my walk out. But sometimes they introduce one síra wọn ẹjọ́ yẹn máa ń fọ́ èmi lórí mi ẹjọ́ yẹn ti máa ń pọ̀ jù fèmí. That's my only two contribution. My God bless you. Ẹkú iwájú. Baby mi náà kí yín o.
Thank you, our precious baby. I can hear him. Ladies and gentlemen,
very good evening
we need to, thank you so much, Ma, for that contribution. For those of us that are just joining us on this show and you are wondering what we're talking about, we welcome you on the show. First of all, thank you for joining. We're talking tonight about matchmaking, the pros and cons. And a lot of people have been talking. You've been talking about who should be a matchmaker. Somebody said anybody can be a matchmaker. Who was the first matchmaker? God is the first matchmaker. Who were the first couple to be matchmade, like Adam and Eve. Now, I want to bring that to the topic that my auntie that called now just talked about. Talking about Ejowewe. But you know that even despite the fact that God was the one that matchmade Adam and Eve, and the fact that God is a perfect God, do you know that Adam and Eve still blamed God when things go wrong? It's just natural. It's human. It's something that we human, when it is sweet and enjoyable. Because I always say to people, I'm a product, my marriage is a product of matchmaking. When things are sweet between me and my husband, I don't remember the person that matchmade also. But when things is a little bit it is natural. It's only when it is sweet. Let's be realistic. So one day I had to tell myself, I said, when it is sweet, you don't remember this year that match made you. But when it is now a little bit, you say, mama, you don't remember what you. Please, ladies and gentlemen, it's part of the price you pay when you matchmake people. Now, that doesn't now give anybody the audacity to make the person that matchmake you feel distressed and bad and sad. For example, what this auntie just said now, you call that person every little opportunity to call the person, you call the person. What if you have met yourself? You need to get to a point where you will mature and get to a point. I can understand when it is still fresh, the marriage is still new, and things are not working out the way you want. You can call the person a few times, but at some point, you need to be able to work things out between yourself. And I think that's another thing that we need to say to people. Please correct me if I'm wrong. That we need to say to people when you were about to matchmake them, tell them, please, I'm actually asking you guys to check on each other. I am not forcing you. Please go ahead only if you are 100% sure. Don't come to me afterwards if anything is not, because our your man baggy, it's not always going to be rosy. There has been instances when I said to myself, where was I even going? That I now met the person that said I should come and marry this man. For goodness sake, I've said it to myself before. And I have said it to myself in other instances. Thank you, Lord, for the day that I met this person that introduced me to my husband. When these are really sweet. So, ladies and gentlemen, even the marriage that you met the person yourself and you ask the person out, things goes up and down. Life is not perfect, and that's one thing you need to bear in mind. I'm not saying that people should endure abuse, no. And also, sometimes it's part of the price we pay for matchmaking people. If one of them is suddenly beginning to feel uncomfortable that you are around them, yeah, let them go. Because some men, or should I say some people, let me not be gender biased now. They don't know how to manage relationship. Maybe the person had forgotten that, look, these people are actually the one that matchmade us for real, but I have to limit the way I now go to them. If you don't manage that relationship properly, what this auntie said is what's going to happen. The other party is going to feel like, maybe you used to see these people like, even normally when you go to weddings and you're advising couples, you let them know, reduce the number of time you spend with your friends, reduce the number of time you spend with families, reduce the number of time you spend with relatives. Maybe if that person is not managing that side properly, you make the other person jealous and they are likely to kind of want to stop that relationship. I think that's what happened in this case. Maybe the guy is not managing it well. You used to go to these people maybe like 10 times a week, reduce it to 5 times, and sometimes it's not everything you say to them that you have to repeat to your spouse. So please, people, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that might have been the problem. So we have to learn to manage that relationship. Please, we still have about 7 to 8 minutes into this program. Let me know if you're enjoying this show. Let me know if you're there. Thumbs up would do. Just show a show of love, maybe a heart, just pop it up. If you're on this show and I can't hear from you, it makes me feel like nobody is listening to me. I can see there are people online, but I always appreciate from time to time, just say something, just say, oh yeah, we can hear you, or just wait, thumbs up, let me know you're there, because it's a show that is interactive. I love to hear from you. And if you have any contribution, remember that you can type your contribution, you can type it on. Also, you can what is it called now? You can leave me a voice note on my phone that ends with 938. That is +44 7828 500 938. Thank you so much. People are beginning to bring emojis up. Thank you, Oluwabomilede Badmus. Thank you, Sumbo Alabi. He said I'm enjoying and learning. In case I am in the position of matchmaking couple, I will know how to go about it. Thank you so much. Somebody said we can hear you. Somebody's putting a smiley face. Somebody puts a thumbs up. That gives me a reassurance that people are there and they can hear me. Somebody's showing me some very beautiful pink heart shapes. I just enjoy that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have matchmade people before, and let me tell you, people that I matchmake, I am always extremely careful around them, because, as I said, God used me as an agent to bring them together. I don't want the devil to use me as an agent to scatter them. In fact, I will tolerate them more than I will tolerate anybody else, because I don't want them. And they come to me, they talk to me. I have a way of handling, or how I will make sure that without making the other person feel bad, without making one of them feel bad. So we have to bear that in mind. And also, at one point, We also need to win them. When I say win them, you know when you are breastfeeding a child, at one point you win that child slowly. You don't just shove them off, but you have to win them slowly. I have a way of letting my couple know that from now on, you know, that in my job, you have to figure things out between each other. So maybe that's another thing that those of us that matchmake, that's another thing that we need to learn. Let's, try slowly to let go of them. Let them be able to handle things by themselves. Somebody said Alarena is just an introducer. They don't grow relationship. The couple need to work together to make it work. God bless you, Auntie Toya Shamo. That's one thing that people fail to understand. Even if it is a marriage that you met each other, you have to work it out between each other. I introduce it to each other does not mean I'm going to be the one to build your home. It doesn't mean I'm going to be the one to help you get matured. It doesn't mean I'm going to be the one to help you to understand each other. And people also forget that marriage is a long-term process. My mom and dad were married for over 40 years. And as much as I know, they still have times that they have their differences. So we need to keep going. We need to keep learning about each other. We need to keep tolerating each other. We need to keep fighting and settling it. In fact, I believe that a marriage that does not have once in a while quarrel is a dead marriage. It means only can go to feel as long as both of you are still in love, there's bound to be quarrels, there's bound to be argument, there's bound to be agreement and disagreement. Even twins that are brought in the same womb, they disagree, let alone two people that are raised by two different families from two different parts of the world. So ladies and gentlemen, I'll just go quickly into the rest of today. Now, let's talk about things that should never happen in the presence of matchmaking. Things that should never happen. That auntie that called earlier has talked about some of them. One thing that you should never ever do is to rush them. Don't rush the combo. And some people go funny. No, you don't do that. Allow the person to take their time. Allow them to study each other. Allow them to agree when they want to agree. Allow them to disagree. So please, people, what are the things that should never happen during matchmaking? I can tell you every good thing about this person, but I should give you the chance to find out for yourself. I should never ever impose my own idea on you. No. It's none of my business. You should be able to find out for yourself. Now, you also talk about the importance of doing your findings. Maybe I've come to you and I've mentioned someone to you that this person is very, very nice. So, very kind-hearted, very lovely person. You should take your own time to find out. So don't base it on what I've told you. Because the person may be nice to me and may be nasty in other areas. Like that auntie said, this is a time of social media where you can find out about people. Take your time to do your research about this person. Do your research about them and take time to kind of have a conversation with them, and also take time to go out with them to know whether you want to go into it. I don't think anybody should be blamed by saying, you will not find out now. Being able to know whether the person is actually weary or not. Now let's talk about these platforms. Somebody mentioned about social media platform. Social media platform is another very big matchmaking platforms nowadays. So should people meet on social media? Should people allow themselves to meet on social media? Because we've had a lot of different stories about people that met on social media. We've heard the positive, we've heard the negative. Is social media a forbidden place to meet? Thank you so much, sir. Because I won't be here tonight without your pictures. Thank you for joining me on this show. And so people, I would like to know, should social media be part of the places where people can meet? What are your opinions about people that meet on social media? Let's talk about that as well. Then I also want us to actually talk about the success rate of matchmaking, the success rate. How successful are marriages that are based on matchmaking compared to people that met themselves? Are there success rates? We've had some people called. The auntie that called said she's doing well by the grace of God. I think they're 17 years into the marriage. Myself, to the glory of God, I've been 20 years, and a lot of other people like that. So we have success rates and we also have challenges. So I think it's just 50-50 as far as I'm concerned, just like any other kind of marriage. Um, uh, we've talked about who can be match made. Anybody, it doesn't matter. Anybody can be match made. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolutely awesome evening, and the topic of tonight, I believe that we can still shed more light on it. If you're watching this show, maybe after we finish this live, and you still want to have a contribution, please feel free to leave your comments. You never know who's going to pick up this topic or who's going to pick up this live show and is going to benefit from your contribution. I personally believe that there's absolutely nothing wrong with matchmaking. In fact, I feel more comfortable with match. I don't know, maybe because that's where my own marriage originated from. I feel more comfortable with matchmaking than just meeting someone. But I'm not saying any one of them is bad. So somebody said I met my husband on Facebook. So social media for matchmaking isn't 100% bad idea. Wow. Thank you so much. I love people that talk from experience. I've seen a lot of people that just that tell their love story and they say it was just a DM. It was just a random deal, and that has led to very successful relationship and marriage. Thank you so much, Becky and Warimo, for sharing that opinion. We can meet people anywhere. When it comes to marriage, we can meet people anywhere. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've been able to establish tonight that the first matchmaker is God. The very first matchmaker is God. So if God can matchmake, so we don't have any reason to condemn it. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with being matchmade as a couple. There's nothing wrong with matchmaking. We've also understood that the first couple that were matchmade had their own issues as well. They had their own challenges. In fact, at one point they blamed God. Now, talking about the auntie that called earlier, if they blame you for whatever, it happened to God. Remember that Eve said to God, the woman, Adam said to God, the woman that you gave me is the one. But when things were rosy between them, they didn't remember God. So part of the issues that you face as someone that might make a couple could be you being blamed. It's part of it. They will blame you. When things go slightly wrong, as I said to you, whenever anything go wrong with my own marriage, I always say, mommy, I did a good boy, issue, and there's a good thing. It happens. And then when things are so rosy, nothing, mommy, all right, so it's very natural. So the only thing we can do is to pray for them and hope that things work out fine. Then we've also been able to establish tonight that matchmakers are only bringing you together. They're not going to help you to work out your marriage. You have to do the working out of your marriage. You have to look at how it's going to work. You have to work on it and make the progress. Then also we have said tonight, those of us that God has used to matchmake people, do not let the devil use it as an instrument to scatter this marriage. If they come to us for advice, let's be neutral. Don't say, in your mo introduce misbehave. I will call that what I call coin. Let them settle it between themselves. It's very important. A lot of people do that. And also, we need to not be the Lord and Savior over their lives. And then listen they do. Yeah, well, no. Hey, Egbami. Someone tell me introduce ceremony jetta. Don't you wish them well? So those are the things that we need to work on as well. Then also we've been able to establish that distance is not a problem. Somebody can be in Nigeria and I can be in the UK and we can be matchmade. I was in Nigeria when I was introduced to my husband and God has been faithful. So distance is not a problem. Then also we also say that we can create platforms for them to meet. It's not necessary that we have to force them together. If it works, fine. If it doesn't work, let them go their separate ways. Then the person that is being matchmade, we've been told on this show that do your research. Don't base it on what this person has told. Once a new doubt, and you go into it, and now something that happened, you start blaming the person. It is not the person's fault, it's your fault. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a very, very awesome episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much to those that have joined me. Thank you to those that have called me, those that have contributed, those that left comments for me. I'm absolutely grateful to you guys. And Moshiman Sonny yourself say, we pay. Èmi Olúwabùnmi aya Òṣìbẹ̀rù. Lílọ ni mo tuntun ti ń lọ ìyẹn èèyàn wa. Àdúrà mi ni wípé mi ò ní bá wọn lálọ́ dé. Ogun ó lọ kò dé kò ní bá mi. Ogun ó dé kò bá wọn kò ní dé bẹ́yìn náà lórúkọ Jésù. Bí mo ṣe ń lọ lẹ́nìí, ayọ̀, ìdùnnú àti àlàáfíà tí mo fi yín sí, òun náà ni mo máa padà dé wá bá yín lọ́sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀. Ẹyẹ bá ṣe ń sọ ọ̀tún lọ́jọ́ ń yọ ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀. The brand new season 18, ladies and gentlemen. So we are coming with a brand new season, and I don't want you to miss it. Please make sure you are here next week to support as usual. In the meantime, if you fancy sọ fún gbogbo wa wípé láyọ̀ láyọ̀ la ó máa pàdé o, mo ní láyọ̀ láyọ̀ la ó máa pàdé o, èyí ò ní forí gu èmi ò ní fẹsẹ̀ kọ o, mọ́tò yòówù kálẹ̀ wọ̀ kò ní forí sọ̀gì o, láyọ̀ láyọ̀ la ó máa láyọ̀ láyọ̀ la ó máa pàdé, láyọ̀ láyọ̀ la ó máa pàdé o. Thank you so much, everybody. See you next week by the special grace of God. God bless you. Bye. Yeah.
Let's talk traditional wedding.
Hey,
Let's talk traditional wedding. Let's talk traditional wedding. Let's talk traditional wedding. Ètò ìgbéyàwó tó tọ́ ní lọ́gbọ́n. Let's talk traditional wedding. Ètò let's talk traditional wedding ó lọ lọ́wọ́.
Oh yeah, give them.
Kí lorúkọ ètò náà? Let's talk traditional wedding. Ètò ìgbéyàwó tó tọ́ ní lọ́gbọ́n. Let's talk traditional wedding. Every Tuesday on Instagram.
One day you're there.
6 p.m. UK time. Every Tuesday on Facebook. Ètò ìgbéyàwó.
Hey, now give them.
Let's talk traditional wedding. Ètò ìgbéyàwó tó fún mi lóye. Let's talk
Traditional wedding. See you next week, everybody, by the special grace of God. God bless you. Bye.